What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Investing with Homies, coming at you today on December 8th, Market Wednesday. Welcome to the chat, all the homies, and everyone tuning in for the replay video. I'm joined with the new homie tonight, Linus Lim. Welcome to the show, my dude.
Thank you for having me, Curtis.
Yes, sir. So me and Linus just had a quick chance to have a little chat. The homie is 26 from Singapore. He's been investing for about 4 to 5 years now. And I found him because he has a ton of YouTube videos. You guys should definitely check out his YouTube channel. I'll link all that stuff down below at the end of the stream and that sort of thing. So check him out. He also has an Instagram page. I'll pull that up right now really quick so you guys can all see that really fast. There it is, his YouTube channel. You can just look him up, Linus Lim. Type that in and you will find the homie. But yeah, man, you've been hustling, dude. You've been cranking out these videos. What's up? What's that like, dude? Cranking out so many videos. Do you have like a nice method down where you can just crank them out really quick, or how's that work?
Yeah, I think this comes down to like experience. So like at the beginning, it was really hard to get like I think to be like successful or at least like decent at YouTube. Like I think the most important thing is to have like the discipline and the commitment. Like because it's really not easy to do like videos like every single week and then like doing it over a long period of time. So I think like over the years I realized like the most important thing when it comes to YouTube is just having like the discipline and the commitment to like just follow it all the way through.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, man. Like I really want to cut up these streams into YouTubes. I'll probably for sure do it with this stream. But it takes so much prep work, and then after the prep, promoting it and doing all that extra, legwork, getting it going. But dude, yeah, props to you for ranking up all those videos over the years, my dude. So what other I know your main focus is in stocks. We'll probably get to that like throughout the whole stream. But do you also have any other types of investments? Do you do like cryptos or any other type of assets that you prefer over stocks?
Yeah, so mainly I'm doing stocks, and then I also have some crypto, but like it just forms a very small portion. So about 10% of my overall portfolio is in crypto, and then like for crypto, because I don't really like understand. I mean, I have a basic understanding of how it works, but like I don't really have an in-depth knowledge of them. So what I do is I just set aside money like every month. So like basically like dollar cost averaging into like the main crypto. So like both Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Nice, dude. That's literally right on par with exactly what I do too. That's my main strategy with cryptos, with stocks, is dollar cost averaging into the best companies essentially over time. Bitcoin and Ethereum, my definite favorite cryptos for sure as well. Ethereum's probably my favorite cryptocurrency. So is there anything like you want to share about like your whole channel? Like, cause it's really cool that you're also out there promoting knowledge, helping people learn about finance. It's obviously something you're somewhat passionate about. You're saying it's like a hobby, right? So like, what's your whole goal with your YouTube channel, you think?
Yeah, I so like the main aim for my channel is just to share what I learn, because I think for me the most important thing when it comes to learning is to be able to share it with others. Because for me, I realized like to really gauge on like whether I know something well is how I'm able to share it with others. So if I'm able to share it with others, it shows that like, okay, I've really internalized the knowledge, and then being able to share it with others also like consolidate my learning. So I think that's the main aim for my YouTube channel when I first started. And then like over time, I realized like YouTube is a good platform for me to reach out to more people. So like you also give me a lot of opportunities, like such as this channel over here, right? Like I managed to get onto this stream with you, Curtis, just because of like YouTube. So I think YouTube also provides a lot of opportunities for me to like not only expand my own personal branding, but it also allows me to get to know like other people who are also similarly interested and passionate about like stock market, personal finance and stuff like that.
Yeah, I find that too. Like with this stream, it's allowed me to like I started the whole thing because in the beginning for a lot of people, like I had mistakes. I lost a good amount of money here and there making easy investor mistakes in the beginning, right? And I'm just like, I can literally help everyone avoid these same mistakes I made and just help all my friends, help all the homies. And I'm sure you experienced it too. A lot of people in your close circle probably don't even want to invest still. A lot of people are still kind of like iffy about it. Maybe less nowadays, but it took a while for me to get my circle of people to really want to invest and that sort of thing. And yeah, with investing with homies and all the other YouTube creators, it's just really good to try and connect and meet other like-minded people that are on the same type of thing like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I noticed you do like a lot of technical analysis breakdowns in some of your videos. So do you? I know you're like, how often do you trade, and also how much of your investments would you say are just long term? Like, do you keep a investment account separate from your trading account, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I have two main accounts when it in the stock market. So one is for investment. So those are the stocks that I hold for longer periods of time, and then I also like add money in consistently every month. So that's like for the longer term. And then I have the trading account. So those are the stocks that I don't hold for investment, but I do for trading. But like when it comes to the investment part also, like yes, I do focus, I do place a bit more emphasis on like fundamental analysis. So I go and study
Nice.
like the companies, I go and study like the sector and stuff like that. But I still lean quite heavily to technical analysis also for investment. So what I do is like, for example, if let's say I identify like, okay, like this company is like fundamentally strong and it's a quality company, I wouldn't like just immediately go and buy the stock. So I'll still look at the charts and then do my technical analysis on like what is the area or place that gives me a higher probability of success. So for example, like
Totally.
instead of just buying the stock, I buy it on like a pullback on a support level, stuff like that.
Definitely, yeah. That's spot on for sure, man. Yeah, always got to look into the fundamentals of a company and make sure it's a good company to begin with. That's pretty much exactly the same way I pick stocks as well. If the stock's like not profitable yet, you have to clearly see the road to profitability before you are considering really investing into it. There's all kinds of trades to be made out there. A lot of people are really like into the momentum trading sort of things, like all the meme
Mm.
stocks, all the hype plays. I rarely touch those. What about you? Do you partake in any of those momentum swings with all the crazy retail investors?
Yeah, if it shows up on my screens and then like it fulfills like the criteria that I'm looking out for, then yeah. But I wouldn't just trade those stocks just because they are meme stocks. Like I'll trade the stocks if they do like meet my criteria, like certain technical criteria that I take a look at, and then they pop out on my screen. Then I'll definitely I'll still trade in those. But then like obviously when it comes to like meme stock, I'll pay a bit more attention with regards to risk. So like I'll be probably taking profits faster and then cutting losses also faster at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard for us fundamental investors with these meme stocks nowadays, because we're not really supposed to look at the fundamentals at a certain point. We're supposed to just be looking at the sentiment, the overall how many people are hyping this thing. But yeah, I
Yeah.
preach to people to be very very careful, put risk management at the forefront, especially with high risk plays, super high volatile plays like that. Um, so right now, like, what do you? For me, Tesla is like my favorite stock. I've owned it for a long time. I have my cost basis at $99 a share. So I got
Mm.
into it a couple of years ago, and it's done really well for me. And I still am very bullish on it for the long term, for sure. Arguments for its current valuation are definitely debatable. Like if it's overvalued or undervalued, it could be either way. What's like your? Do you have like a favorite stock or like a company that you stick with that's like your number one? Anything like that?
Okay, so like I do have some favorites, but as much as possible, I try to avoid them because one is like having favorites, like I might hold on to the stock longer than like I should probably so. Because for example, if let's say I really like the stock and then I bought into the stock, but then like certain things, maybe like the fundamentals or the technicals, they're showing like, okay, like this might go bad really soon. But then like just because like I place it on my favorites, I might hold on it for a bit longer. So I over time I realized like that's not that doesn't really work for me very well. So
Okay.
what I do is, I have a couple of stocks that I prefer, but I wouldn't say like, oh, I have like certain favorites and I'll be willing to hold them like through thick and thin.
I get that. Yeah, it's important what you're saying because like I got wrecked on a trade not too long ago, holding it too long. You always want to know when to cut yourself from a stock. It just kind
Mhm.
of depends like how long term you see yourself holding that stock, and if they get to your goals, quicker than expected, type of deal. Um, so like
Yeah.
what's
So
yeah,
like for example,
what's one of your stocks you like?
recently I sold Tesla. So I've been holding Tesla for quite a while. So I took some positions off just because I think probably about a month or a few weeks ago, Tesla stock like went up like parabolically. So like it went up really very fast. And
Mm-hmm.
then just basing it on like the technicals wise, I thought like it was a bit overextended. So what I did was I just took like a big portion of my profits off, and then like a small. I'm still holding a bit, but it's not a lot. So what I do is like like I also look at the fundamentals, but like I think at the end of the day, I still let the technicals guide my decision. So for example, if it's overextended, I'll just take profits off first, and then like I hold just a small portion. So like
Mm-hmm.
if it continues to go up, at least I still have like some positions in the stock.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I've been in Tesla for a couple of years now. Do you hold stocks over like a year period, or do you always try to take your profits when you think it's like the profit's taking good? You know what I mean?
Um, I would say it depends on like the market conditions and everything. So for example, if like we are at the start of a bull market, then I'm definitely more inclined to hold the stock longer. Like even though it experienced some pullbacks, I'm definitely inclined to hold it longer. But then like right now, I believe that we are definitely okay. Like I wouldn't say we are definitely at the later stages, but we are definitely not in the early stages. So taking that into account, like I also change or adapt. I wouldn't say I change my strategy, but I adapt like to the conditions. So for example, if
Yeah.
it's like later stages of like a bull market, then what I'll do is I'll take profits when I see that okay, like it's overextended, and then I'll take some profits off first. So like those are some of the things that I take a look out
Yeah.
for.
That's kind of what I do. So like say I'll have like a top 3 stocks, like Tesla, Facebook, like Apple. Those are all companies that I believe like a 5-10 year outlook is good on them. But depending on market conditions, I will like lower my position size in them and build up on cash. But I'll always keep like my like a small initial investment in them type deal for the long term. And also I don't know
Mhm.
if mentioned like all my positions or well like 80% of my portfolio is on my Roth IRA currently. So I just keep, so it's like super long term for me with that account. You know what I mean? But I do
Mhm.
like tend to like try to do tax loss harvesting on my other trading account and try to sell at the end of the year and try to if I am down on something sell it. Like I just was down on a trade, but I'm still up a lot for the year. So I was like, screw it. I sold my trade for a loss and then bought the ETF of the same sector. So hopefully that will like mitigate my profits from this year and won't have to pay any taxes. But
Mhm.
yeah, man, yeah, I see your strategy. It's definitely good for sure, dude. To cut your and also and vice versa. Like when a stock starts to go down, sometimes people will just like hold it still as it's going down because they're like so infatuated by it. And it's always good to cut losses before it gets too bad, type of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like one of the important things just to like share with the audience is I also realized like there's no one best way to invest or trade in the markets. I think at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to find like a strategy that suits your character, your personality, and something that you really have like full belief in. So the reason why I say that is because, for example, like for me, I would say I'm a bit more inclined towards like trading. So I know that like okay, like for me, I'm not really very okay like taking huge losses. So what I do is I adapt my strategy to something that suits me better. So like for example, like if a stock goes against me by say more than 15%, then that's like where's my threshold, and then I'll just get out. But for others, they might be able to hold on to losses, and their appetite for risk is larger. So maybe my strategy might not work so well for them, but like it's not that their strategy doesn't work. It's just that the strategy has to be at the end of the day, it has to be something that you're fine with and you're okay with, so that like you can stick with it through thick and thin. Yeah. So like that's I think that's the important point to take note.
Yeah, that's a really really good point, man. Like I have tons of other investing homies, and everyone's got their own strategy. Everyone's an expert on different stocks. I always preach invest in like what you know, like Warren Buffett style, whatever company you understand on the highest level. Like for me, I'm not like a it's hard for me to get really intricate with like the pharmaceutical companies and understand them on a high level. So I just pretty much avoid them mostly, even though they go up a lot lately. But Pfizer, though, speaking of Pfizer, that's on the talk for today. But let's just keep going with you for now, homie. Um, yeah, but that's a great point for sure, man. Like everyone will learn what strategy suits them, and it's just gonna take time in the market. My goal is to help motivate people just to start, because what's that saying? It's like the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the best time now is today. It's like you just gotta start today, even with the market's high, even if the market's low. You can always start slow and just start to get into the market, because as you're in the market, you build experience, and you're going to lose money just like everyone else is, but those losses turn into lessons, and those lessons turn into future gains over the long term. So yeah, no, super good point, dude. I like looking at that too. Everyone's got their own strategy. Like people like to trade different patterns. People like to have different, risk tolerance, just like you said, dude. So I did mention, you did say you have some crypto. So are you bullish on the crypto space? Are you like looking at that space as I look at it like it's high risk, high reward, but I'm also very more optimistic about it than I have been in the previous years, just because so much institution is involved. Are you kind of like that, or are you still kind of iffy with crypto?
I would say like I'm definitely more optimistic and bullish about crypto now compared to like a year ago. It's probably also because like over time I also like maybe talk to people and then like read up more, and then I understand a bit better on like how crypto works and everything. And then I also realized that it's not, I mean, the institutional take up of like crypto is definitely one of the reasons why I'm a bit more bullish. But I think the main reason is because I'm seeing like how like especially with regards to Ethereum, like there are a lot of applications out there. Like for example, like NFTs, they are transacting using like Ethereum. So that's like one of the reasons why I'm quite bullish about Ethereum. And then like Bitcoin is just mainly for like a store of value. So
Exactly.
but at the same time, like just because I still don't know a lot about crypto, that's why I'm like just allocating like 10% of my account to like my total portfolio into crypto. So like if anything goes bad and then like shit hits the fan, right? And then I'm able to take like, okay, like the 10, if I lose everything in crypto, I'm able to take the 10% loss to my portfolio.
Totally, yeah. I always recommend people to invest in crypto only really what you're willing to lose. And yeah, Ethereum, dude, with NFTs, and I'm sure you've heard about the metaverse, right? Facebook turning into Meta platform and that sort of thing. I'm super like hyped about the metaverse. I'm also trying to be realistic about it too. But I also, I feel like there's no doubting that if it does become something big, it's at such a small level right now that there's so many things to actually invest in that could really pop off from it. Some of them for me are like Facebook, Nvidia, Roblox also is a cool one. I haven't invested in that one yet. Unity I have not invested into yet, and even like random stocks like Disney. Because Disney has so many options with like the worlds, right? It could create Star Wars metaverse. It could create Mickey Mouse metaverse, virtual Disneyland parks in different countries all around the world. Um, yeah, what do you think? Do you know anything about the metaverse? You like that idea? Still kind of learning about it too, also, or what?
Yeah, I'm still learning about it. Definitely, like I think it's really interesting. So like right now like I think what you mentioned, what I'm looking out for is like which sectors, industries, and like companies which are potentially able to benefit from this trend. So I think I would say still like we are in the early stages, but I think like it's always good to like keep a lookout on like those companies that are likely to benefit from that, because like for all you know, like they may turn out to be like strong long-term investments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, metaverse definitely interesting. NFTs are crazy too. I own a few NFTs. None of them have blown up crazy in value for me. They've doubled in value, but the NFTs I bought were only like $300, so I only made like $300. Still great though. I haven't sold them. I'm just gonna hold my NFTs so that when I get a house in the metaverse, I can put them on the walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the idea, right? Um, yeah, that's cool, man.
Actually, it's
Do you have any
there's a good
NFTs?
amount of return that you make, because like I always say like what I do is I don't look at the absolute amount, I look at the percentage
Oh yeah.
return. So like yeah, like 300 is not a lot, but like you double your money on the investment, so that's like 100% return. So
Yeah,
that's
so
pretty good.
that's great. And also one of the NFTs I got a free hoodie with it too, so that's pretty dope, right?
Uh,
So that's
yeah.
cool. I always think when it comes to NFTs, just invest into the creator of the NFT. Like if it's a celebrity that you really like, NFT will probably be good, you know, because that celebrity's popularity slash value will go up over time, increasing the value of the NFT over time. That's kind of like my most simple way to look at NFTs. I don't really like buying NFTs if they just look cool or if it's just made by someone random. I look at like who made the NFT and is that person important, type of thing. But you know, there's so many people making crazy money off like ridiculous NFTs. I'm not like I don't even know about all those things, but I think it's funny though. Um,
It-
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So I'm not really like into NFTs right now, because like I like for me I still don't really understand. So I'll just
Mm-hmm.
stick with what I understand first, and then like over time, like if I get to understand it better, then like maybe like with crypto, like when I get to understand it better, then like maybe start putting some money into it.
Yeah, definitely. Like it just seems like NFTs, the hype keeps going up and down with it. I feel like I just see it more often on like social media and that sort of thing randomly, and then it's gone, and then people are bringing it back again. And then all these YouTubers, like the big content creators, not in even in the finance space, like people like Logan Paul and stuff, they're like working with like Gary Vee, who's another big content
Mm.
guy, and they're all like promoting NFTs and stuff. And so that I think that's a big reason for the hype as well, especially for the retail. So we covered a lot of the stuff that you are investing into. So I saw you made a video about Snapchat. I have a bunch of stocks we can go over. Actually, I'm gonna share my screen and
Yeah, sure.
let's actually just jump into just quickly for all the homies out there what is going on with the overall market today. And I'm just gonna breeze through it, and feel free to comment, Linus, and cut me off or anything if you have anything to say really quick. So we did cover on Monday stream for you guys on the 10th. So in 2 days we do have the CPI report coming out. The 14th and the 15th, the Fed is having its meeting, and then at the very end of the month, we do have the coronavirus report coming out, seeing what the numbers on that's looking like. I think most likely we're going to see an uptick in numbers just because it is the holiday season, flu season essentially, and also you know more big large gatherings of people, and so that's very common to see that. Sentiment has been looking good though. There's the new variant, which is called, I think, the Omicron COVID or whatever. And Pfizer came out today, and they actually had some tests done that shows that their new tester vaccine is coming out, and it can actually eliminate the Omicron, I guess. That's what they're saying. And so the market sentiment was positive for the third day in a row. I mean, we were looking at the SPY, and it was looking pretty bad. This is just some of my technical analysis we got on the SPY right here. And I remember watching one of your videos, Linus. You were saying you really liked the what is it, the is it the 50 day or the 100 day? I think it's the 50 day.
The 50 day. Yeah.
Yeah. So the 50 day is this green line right here, and you're saying it's holding pretty nicely on it, right?
Yeah. So like I did a video one week ago, like sharing my technical analysis of like the US stock market in December, right? So specifically for the SPY, so for the S&P 500, right? I was taking a look at those levels. So like at the 50-day moving average at the green line. I was looking at those levels, like because like previously it has been like quite a good support for prices. So I thought that was going to be a strong area of support for prices. So if like prices manage to find support there, then it's higher chance that it's going to move up. So right now I think like based on the prices for the stock market when it closed, like it's above the 50-day, and then I think that's also a good news for us who take a look at charts.
Yeah, we can see that the SPY has just had a crazy bullish trend since November 20th of is that last year? Yeah, November of last year. And we've just been on this crazy uptrend. And we finally dipped out of it in September of this year, but then we recovered. We dipped out of it again. We're bouncing again. You guys can see off the 50-day that he's talking about right there. We bounce off at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 10, almost 9, 10 times we've bounced off this while continuing to stay in this uptrend. And it looks like we're breaking back into the uptrend area. So who knows exactly where the market's headed. We were anticipating, I think, a sell-off at the end of the year. It's always pretty much anticipated just because of institutions taking profits, going on vacation, a lot of tax loss harvesting, people selling out of stocks to take profits on their taxes at the end of the year. It's very common to see. So I'm expecting some momentum into next year, like positive bullish momentum. As long as we don't have any giant negative catalysts, in my opinion, like the absence of negative news is positive news. So that is what I'm looking for. Do you see any like huge negative catalysts for next year, Linus, or at least in the first quarter of next year, like for the economy?
Right. So for me, I pay attention to news, but what I really like laser my focus on is like the chart. So I think at the end of the day, like for me, I personally believe that everything is reflected in the chart, because like for example, if like people are anticipating like news, like whether be it good or bad news, it always reflects in the chart. Why? Because for example, if it's good news, then people are expecting like, okay, like moving forward, the economy or like the markets are likely to be doing well. Then what they would tend to do is they buy into like the markets and everything. So when they buy into the markets, like it will be reflected in the price, and vice versa. So like if the news is bad, then like they are likely to sell. So what I do is I still keep up with the news, but what I always focus on is still on the charts. So for me right now, I still think like the S&P 500 is on uptrend, right? Because like just based on technical analysis, like the moving averages are trending upwards, and then like prices are also above the moving averages. But based on the two most recent declines, so the one that you put up like just about a week or two ago, like that decline over there, and then the previous decline, right? So the previous decline, it was like the first time that the S&P 500 moved below the 50-day moving average after quite a while. So that was the first sign. And then like I also take a look at the volume, right? So when I saw like prices declining on like above average volume, this tells me that like there are definitely some institutions like selling a portion, if not all of their positions. So what I do is I still agree with like the overall trend, like it's trending up, but I'm definitely more cautious moving forward, like next year.
I agree with you on that too. I think anything can happen. I kind of am saying that because there's so many people that are probably watching that aren't invested whatsoever. And just to say like market is still like recovering from its little bit of a pullback, so it's always a good time to start like dollar cost averaging, I feel like at this point. But I agree with you too. Like the market can still flip. There's still room to go down for sure. I mean, obviously we've done nothing but go up for about a year on the SPY at least. So yeah, definitely good observation there. But it's just crazy, like how the SPY is still recovering. Like I was expecting more red days, honestly. But now we just got 3 huge green days back to back to back. So the market's like going kangaroo or whatever on us right now, right?
Yeah.
And also, you made a good point about like focusing like on the news and stuff like that, and like good news, but the charts will reflect it regardless of what the news is. That's a really good point. Like I was saying yesterday or on Monday stream with the Fed, they can come out and say they're going to raise rates, or they're going to come out and they're going to say they're going to lower rates, and it's not even bad news on either side. It's how we, the investors, the retailers, perceive the news. Are we going to look at them lowering rates as a sign of a weakening economy, or are we going to look at that as, oh, stocks are going on a deal or real estate's going on a deal? Are we going to look at them raising rates as, oh no, they're going to bankrupt the economy, or are we going to look at it as, oh, it's a recovering economy now? It's all just, it's dependent in the eye of the beholder, in my opinion. But yeah, you're right. That will transcend into the charts, because the charts and technical analysis in itself is just the conglomerate of so many people observing it. Without people observing it, it won't exist. Like the technical analysis, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah. So that was the news for today. The Pfizer thing coming out. That's pretty much like the little positive sentiment we're seeing. Taking a quick look at the fear and greed index. The fear index was at extreme fear about a week ago, you guys. So like, and yes, on Monday when we looked at it, we were still in the red with a decent amount of fear, and we can see that that's starting to lower. Obviously, this is just one of many indicators that we should all be observing. Just to keep in mind, you know, I think market sentiment's important. You know, what people, you know, are they afraid? You know, the Warren Buffett quote: "Be fearful when people are greedy, and be greedy when people are fearful." So people were definitely getting some good buying opportunities last week, and if they held on to it through into this week. So let's keep it going. What else do I got for us today? Oh yeah, Tesla. So did you have any news on that Tesla thing that's happening? I didn't really hear much about it, but for any of you guys watching, December 9th, tomorrow, so you guys will find out by tomorrow. Tesla is basically, Elon Musk is like tweeting about saying nothing will happen, and everyone's saying that means something's going to happen, and everyone's talking about a potential stock split with Tesla again. If Tesla does have a stock split, I think that could cause some good short-term momentum to run up with it. And if nothing happens tomorrow, maybe the stock actually drops, and there's some pain in Tesla for a bit. But what do you think, Linus?
Yeah, so I think like if maybe you bring up the chart for Tesla, then
yeah, let me pull it up.
It'll be good. Yeah, so if you take a look 3 days ago, so like it found support at the 50-day moving average, right? And then like
Yeah.
Okay, so like what I'm sharing is just technical analysis, because I think what you mentioned just now is it covers a bit of the fundamentals at the news side already.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take a look at the 3 days ago, like the candlestick, right? Like you can see that it's finding support at the 50-day moving average, and then I think you also indicated like at this area. So I think it's about $1,000. Yeah, so around $1,000, there is also another support level. So you can see that clearly at that level.
990 about.
Yeah, around that level, right? Like people are definitely looking at that level as a support. So you can see that like when prices decline to that level, like it quickly found support there, and then it moved up from there. So like based on the chart right now, like you can see that like that level is support. So like if moving forward, if prices break below that level, then definitely in the short to medium term, like it might be like bearish in that sense.
Mm-hmm. I get that. Yeah, definitely. If it breaks below the 50-day, it could definitely be bearish. Last time it broke below its 50-day, it's gonna be kind of hard to see with all my charts I have. Let me bring that down. Last time it broke below its 50-day was sometime back in, I believe, July last summer. So yeah, it's just been on an uptrend since the summer for the most part, and yeah, seeing it hit its 50-day is definitely a bearish indication you want to look out for. If it touches it again and bounces, that might be like a bullish indication, right? If it can like recover multiple times. But I usually look at it like a 3-strike thing. Like it could bounce, and then if it's going down the third time, it's about to drop like way below type deal. You know what I mean?
But actually, if you take a look, right, like it found support it found support 3 times already. So like if you move back like about a week or so ago, like like that green one.
Okay.
That was like the first one, and then like the yes, so that's the second one, and then like you have the third one just 3 days ago.
You are right.
So like
correct.
So it's like 3 or more. Like for all you guys who are like still new to like technical analysis, right? Usually a support level, we can draw a support when prices hit the level 3 or more times. So like as you can see on the charts, it's already 3 or more times. So like that is clearly a support level. And then like when a support level correspond to a 50-day moving average, then you have a confluence of factors that give it a higher probability of success that is likely to move up from there, right? So it's not like 100% sure thing that like prices are going to move up from there, but it's just higher probabilities of success. So like I think like when it comes to trading, there's and investing, there's no sure thing. But what we can do is we can align like the probabilities in our favor. So like how do we do that? It's like, for example, if you're taking a look at a stock, making sure that the company is fundamentally good. So like a quality company, and then like buying it at the right time. So right time is like buying at the support level, everything. Like if you do all that, like it will increase your probability of success in the markets.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so Tesla is a pretty sketchy one. I think if you were looking at it from a trade right now, you don't. It's kind of like it could go either way right now, right? Is that how you're looking at it, or do you think it's like, yeah?
Like it's moving sideways for a while.
I like, for me as like a trading perspective, I like to try and get things like as the trend is starting. So like I like reversal plays. Like I did DraftKings. I'll show you one of my trades. Like I did DraftKings when it was coming down on this part, and I did the trade. Like I bought it down here on its reversal. Or actually no, I bought it like once it started getting this verification with a couple uptrend candles. And I bought it going into this, and then I didn't sell appropriately, but I did ride up the uptrend correctly, right? So I like to kind of play reversals like that. I also use the 200-day moving average. So what is it on here? It's red. So like the 200-day moving average is something I always look at. Like right here for me would be like a trade I would like to enter if it was happening, like this 200-day crossing. When I see momentum of a stock like that hasn't passed its 200 or gone above its 200-day for a long time, I like to buy it as it's crossing it and then trade off of that momentum from it crossing its 200-day. That's kind of like one of my personal strategies I like with trading. Do you have any like personal trades, like strategies kind of like that you like, or do you look at specific indicators a lot? I know you said you like the 50-day, so is that like your favorite one?
So for like with regards to the moving averages, those are like basic qualifying criteria. So like what do I mean by that is like if a stock is below say the 50-day moving average or the 200-day moving average, I would automatically not look at the stock. So this is more for trading. So like like if it meets those criteria, that is like just a qualifying criteria. So there are certain other things that I take a look at. So for example, maybe you can bring up like let me take a look.
No problem.
Okay, so maybe TSM.
TSM.
Yeah, so it's Taiwan Semiconductor.
Cool. Yeah, we look at this one a little bit.
Yeah, so what I like about this is because I believe like in the stock market there's like a cause and effect. So what do I mean by cause and effect? So the longer that a stock moves sideways, then it indicates that there's a high chance that like when it finally moves up, the move up will be also longer and further, right? So like this one is also setting up quite nicely, and I'm waiting like for some confirmation. But it definitely looks like it's setting up nicely. So once it breaks, like I think you also managed to put it right there, like around 122 to 127. Like if it breaks above those levels, right, then it gives me the confirmation that okay, like I'll probably enter my position. So I already have some positions in TSM, but like I'll definitely add more if it managed to break like those levels. But obviously, like with that said, like even with like high probabilities of success, there's still always a chance that the trade or the investment doesn't work out. So that's where your risk management kicks in, and then like you make sure that like after, if it doesn't move according to where you want it to go, then like after a while, then you can either cut your loss or at least reduce your position.
Yeah, this one looks like a pretty solid play too, because it has an all-time high somewhere like above 140, I believe. It's currently sitting at like 120, and for the last like year or so, it's been fairly neutral, and it has like a very, very strong support. You can see at the 108, keeps bouncing off that. So, I mean, you're getting a pretty good fair valuation buy if you think this company's, good for the next 3 to 5 years type deal. And like you're saying, if it can break above that, you can see it actually tested it here the other day. It actually went up to 127, came back down, but it still has momentum. It looks like some green days, and it's going up. Definitely, this is
Yeah.
one of the best 5G companies. I am not personally invested into it, but I definitely have considered investing into it. It's a good one.
Yeah, and like just now what I mentioned is more like the technicals, but like the fundamentals for TSM, I also think like it's really good because okay, so like for all you guys who don't really know what like TSM does is they produce and design chips. So like chips that companies such as if I'm not wrong, like Nvidia also, like
Hmm.
they TSM help them produce the chips. So Nvidia will do like the designing, but at the end of the day, like TSM will be the one producing for them. So like and TSM is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, producer of chips in the world. So I think like fundamentally wise, like TSM also like it definitely meets my criteria. So what I want to do then is like once it confirms my fundamentals, then the next thing I'm taking a look at is does it confirm on the stock chart? Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, like the stock chart will reflect what the majority thinks about the stock like moving forward. So like if they do
Hmm.
think that like the stock and the company will do well in the future, like it will definitely be reflected in the price sooner rather than later. So yeah, so that's one taking a look at.
Nice. Yeah, and another fundamental note, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like this is on point. This company's probably been impacted heavily by the supply chain issues over the last year as well. I'm assuming, and maybe once that gets fixed up, that's going to also be like some good sentiment coming for the stock. I'm not 100. You may be able to confirm that, but I'm not sure. But I think that's what's going on potentially.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've been affected a bit, but if I'm not wrong, they're also ramping up production. So
So they're
like
starting to,
so
yeah.
this company is based in Taiwan, and then but most of their facilities are also in Taiwan. But then from what I understand, is they are also starting to build factories outside of Taiwan. So if I'm not wrong, they are also going to build one in the US like really soon. So
Hmm.
that's also something to pay attention to.
Definitely. I want to bring up one more stock here. Bring up Disney stock. For me, I've been looking at Disney kind of as like the travel play. Disney's like a lot more than just a travel company, obviously. But I think a lot of big money does flood into Disney. Same type of money that's going into like the airlines and other travel companies as well. Disney's at a pretty low level right now. I'm liking kind of where it's at. It's starting to do a recovery. I don't have any good technicals drawn here for it. Let me see if I can find a support. The 135 would be a solid support because it's got the tops of all those candles. It's even got this gap fill right here. So 135, we didn't reach 135. We actually held up at 140. Do you have any thoughts on Disney right now? Is it
Um,
is it a is it a
yeah, so
stock you would
like
trade?
for trading, like I'll probably avoid it because like you can see on earnings day, right? Like it get down by quite a lot. And then if you I don't know whether you can bring up like the volume, but you'll see that on that day, like volume was also really high. So when volume is high on the down day, and given that like the stock also get down, like this tells me that like at least for the short to intermediate term, um, like it's something that I wouldn't want to trade just yet. I would want to wait like for further confirmation. Yeah, you can see like on the volume on earnings day, right? It was very high. So what I think like one of the some famous person once mentioned this, right? Like when you see like volume that high, like it can't be like your Aunt Betty or Aunt Susie selling the stock. Like it's probably like your big institutions like selling their positions in the stock. So if that happens, then like it not to say that like Disney is unable to like continue to move up, but like
Totally.
it
It's
might take
just
some time for it to move up.
yeah, and I call them red flags. So like when I'm looking at a trade or something, if I get like two or three red flags, usually one red flag's enough for me to just stop. But if I get like two or three, it's like I'm not even looking at that play. I just like Disney from like the fundamental basis. If I'm like the type of
Mm.
guy, if I see it at a discount on a 3 month, I'm like, oh, time to dollar cost average in. But that's a good ass point you're making too. Like educating us about, you know, the high volume, because that is a lot of selling pressure on its earnings day. So yeah, we'll have to definitely see some more confirmation. Maybe if it can break into some of its previous zones or break it back above, you know, the 50 or the 100 day, that would be good confirmation, right? But we will have to see.
Yeah.
And Tanner in the chat, thanks so much for the subscribe, homie. Appreciate you, my dude. 11 months subscribed, Tanner. We are back with Investing with Homies, man. Thanks for tuning in. This is the homie Linus. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them, guys. So yeah, dude. Thanks, Linus, for that as well. I've been saying, you know, travel is kind of like the sentiment of the market right now. Just because coronavirus, you know, everyone hasn't been able to travel during the last year or so, and we saw travel get hit hard. We can look at like Carnival Cruise Line. This is a stock I did a really good trade on. I like bought it back in the 13s and sold it like around here. I was planning on going on a cruise, and I just was like, you know what? Because I bought 100 shares, and if you have 100 shares, you get like $200 or $300 off the cruise. If you show
Really?
them, yeah, if you show them you have your 100 shares, it's pretty hilarious. But I ended up
Okay,
never.
that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I don't really want to go on a cruise anymore, so I just sold my shares. And I'm glad I did, because they got beat up really hard afterwards, and they're starting to recover. You know, they're getting some solid green days over the last few days, but before that, don't forget about these crazy red days. I just think that if we continue to see some more verification of some positivity in the travel sector, that's going to trickle down to, I think, the broader economy and even the global economy, because travel is like a huge global, you know, money mover for the world. So without that, a lot of economies, a lot of people don't have jobs, a lot of people losing money. So that will be good. So keep on the lookout for that. I forgot to ask you, do you have any thoughts on inflation, Linus? Inflation is definitely like a crazy topic that's been going around a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like, be it whether you read the news, right? But like I'm pretty sure like you see it like in your everyday life. Like, so like certain things are a bit more expensive. Like if they're not more expensive, like definitely like the portions that you're getting is also smaller. So like
Totally.
I don't think you have to read the news to know that like inflation is there. So but I was mentioning this, like it's one thing for us like everyday people to like acknowledge like that inflation is there, but it's another for like the Fed to come out and say like, okay, like, you know, like the word transitory is like no longer appropriate to describe inflation. Because like for the longest time, the for you guys who are not too sure or don't really follow like the news, for the longest time, the Fed has always said that like, okay, like inflation is just going to be like temporary. So like what the exact word they use is transitory, right? So it's only going to be like for a short period of time, because like supply chain issues and everything like that. Like that's why like we are seeing inflation. But I think just recently they came out and said like the chairman Jerome Powell said that like, okay, like probably it's a good time to retire the word transitory.
Yeah.
So I think like
that.
Yeah, definitely inflation is real. Like at least I think at least for the first half of until the first half of next year, if not longer.
Do you think that the money printing, or they call it the quantitative easing, or whatever you want to call it, do you think that has a big part to do with inflation? Or do you think like what do you think's like the main thing driving inflation? Like there's the supply chain issue, there's, I mean, we've seen asset inflation above all, in my opinion. We've seen the housing, we've seen the stocks, everything start to go up, and like you said, even like food, gas is starting to go up also now. So that's more of, I think, there's different types of inflation, right? I don't know all the different types off the top of my head, but that's not necessarily asset inflation. It's like consumer pricing inflation, or consumer whatever we have to buy type inflation. What do you think's like the number one thing causing all that? Do you have an opinion on that? It's definitely like hard to pin it down. I mean, JPAL can't even figure it out, but what would you have to guess?
Yeah, so like this is just basing from my like economics knowledge. So I used to study that. So like what I gather is like inflation, there's two main ones. So like one is like the demand side inflation. So that's caused by a lot of people like wanting to buy like certain goods and services, so that push prices up. And then there's the other one, that's like the supply side inflation. So I from what I understand right now and what I read, right, it's more towards like the supply side. So like what you mentioned about like the supply chain issues, and definitely like the quantitative easing and money printing is definitely one of the reason why we are seeing inflation, at least in terms of like the financial assets. So like you see that like the stock market and crypto, like NFTs, everything, like a lot of them are going up. It's because somehow or rather, like the money that the Fed prints, just because of like it's so much, it tends to trickle down into like the stock market. Like I don't know whether about you, but here in Singapore, like last year we did. I think the US also did receive like stimulus, right? So stimulus checks and everything.
Exactly.
And for me, definitely like a portion of those money went into the stock market. So you can see like how like their money printing actually how the money printing the liquidity that they provide somehow finds its way into like the financial market. So that's also one of the things to pay attention to. And I think the other one is also like unemployment, right? So like labor shortages, everything that also definitely drives prices up, because like companies nowadays they're paying like higher prices like just to attract workers, and then like higher wages will also correspond to higher inflation, because like people expect more, and then the companies have to also charge more for their consumers. So all of that also leads to higher inflation.
Definitely, yeah, and there's tons of moving parts. Yeah, eventually that money that they print, eventually for the most part starts leaking into the actual like financial assets in the economy. Not necessarily like to all the people, but it's getting into all the assets, right? And so that's causing asset inflation and that sort of thing. Good points though, my dude. So you said you studied it back in the day. Did you go to school for finance?
No. Like what I did was in Singapore we call it okay, so like it's before our college, our university, right? So I think in the US they call it like high school. So like in high school, then I did learn a bit on like econs, and then like in uni I also did like I did major in econ. So like the part of like the macro finance part, like I'm a bit more familiar with it.
Nice, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sick, dude. Well, we're coming to the end of the stream. It's been about an hour now. I want to give you a chance though, if there's any other topics or anything else you wanted to like get across to the homies. If not though, we can get ready to wrap this up. And thanks for definitely coming on the show again. Once again, I'm going to drop. I already did drop your YouTube. It's not letting me drop it in the the description in the Twitch right now, but here it is again for you guys so you can see it. Go to his YouTube channel, Linus Lim. He makes content every week, it appears, so he's been pretty consistent for a while now. So yeah, go check out his stuff. Really good content. I really like your videos, dude, because it doesn't even look like like your longest video in the last, or well, this one's over 10 minutes, but most of your videos are just like 4 or 5 minutes, and I really like videos like that because you get what you need. You don't need like any extra like BS, and you get on with your day. You know what I mean? You get to the point, and the video's done. It's pretty awesome. I'm definitely going to repost this to our YouTube channel and Investing with Homies as well, and give you all the tags over there. Yeah, and try to get the word spread around. But overall, did you have anything else you wanted to share with the homies in regards to anything, Linus?
Yeah, I think just one thing about like in investing and trading the stock market, right? So I receive like a lot of questions about this. So I think a lot of like what puts a lot of people off starting in the stock market is one of the at least one of the major things is like they mention like they don't have enough money in the stock market to like properly invest and trade. But my point is like actually this is the best time to start investing and trading, and the reason is this, right? Because right now you don't have a lot of cash, so that's okay. But the thing is like, because at the start that's where you encounter the most mistakes and you make the most mistakes. So when you're managing, or when your portfolio is smaller, like those mistakes tend to be less costly. So if you waited until like you actually have like a big amount of money or capital to start investing in the stock market, at that time you'll probably also make a lot of mistakes, and that mistakes tend to be more costly if you have more money. So I think the best time is always to start small, so that you get to iron out your mistakes, and then from there after you iron out your mistakes and like get rid of most of the basic mistakes that you make, then from there, like you slowly accumulate your capital, and then like it'll be much better from there on.
Definitely, man. That's a really good way to put it for sure. Really appreciate your insight, Linus. I hope we get to have you on the show again. It's been a good show, man. You definitely got crazy good insight, my dude. So yeah, all the homies, thanks for tuning in for today's show. Feel free to send Linus some messages. He's joined our Discord community as well. If you guys want to chat with Linus directly, send him a message, hit him up on his YouTube, on his Instagram as well. And Linus, I hope we get to see you again soon, my dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Curtis. It's been great, like just sharing all this stuff.
Yeah, man. I really hope we get to have you come on again one of these days, and we'll hopefully get to talk to you in the Discord here pretty soon. Everyone go check out
Definitely,
Linus, my dude. All right, everyone.
definitely.
Have a good night, guys. We'll catch you on the next show. It'll be Monday, 7 p.m. PST. I'm gonna talk with Will to see if we get the crypto show for Friday. We'll check out the Discord and we'll update you guys there. Have a good night, everyone. We'll catch you.